These are 5 crypto airdrops that I'm farming right now. These are 5 of the top ones on my spreadsheet guide, which has all of my airdrops ranked in a row. You can find that at matchcrypto.com down below. But all 5 of these airdrops, which I'll show you guys in today's video, I do think have the potential to make up to $10,000, and some of these might be even more depending on how hard you go. So we'll walk through each one of these, and I also have a little bit of a treat in the middle of the video showing you guys another way to track all of your airdrops super easily, so stay tuned for that. Okay, the first airdrop on my list is this one right here. This is Jupiter. I've been using Jupiter to swap coins on Solana all year, and if you don't know what Jupiter is, you probably haven't traded on Solana once in your life, because Jupiter is the main aggregator. It is this right here. You can swap, you can do limit orders, you can do dollar cost averaging, you can even trade perps and do things like memecoin trading over on their new platform, ape.jupiter. But we'll get all that in a second. This is the second airdrop. They already had the first one back in the beginning of this year, and it was one of the biggest airdrops of the entire year. But you can see right here, this is the base criteria I have for the second airdrop, which I do think, for me at least, the way I'm going about it, and if you go really hard on this, you could easily be making $10,000 on this airdrop, maybe even up to $50,000 if you have a lot of volume. So you can see right here, tier 1 is going to include 7 votes, NFTs from the JUP calls, 1 million volume index. That's the big one right there. $1 million in volume is not a small amount by any means. And it says $100,000 airdrop. Now keep in mind, this is all theoretical. This is not at all what the criteria is necessarily going to be, but I think these are very good buckets to aim for when going for the Jupiter airdrop. So we'll talk about all of these and how they work, but the $100,000 airdrop amount is a bit extreme. I do think $10,000 up to $50,000 is actually very realistic if you do hit $1 million in volume, which is not easy to do. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But you can see the different tiers here, depending on how hard you go in each bucket is what you're going to end up with your airdrop. So it says tier 3, if you do 1 vote, NFTs from JUP calls, you don't have any of them, you do $10,000 in volume, you could get $1,000 worth of Jupiter in the airdrop. I think that's probably a little bit overestimating on tier 3, but these are the buckets we want to go for. So the first part here, we're going to go actually from the bottom up. The first part is the volume on the DEX. You're going to go to jup.matchcrypto.com to get to this page right here. This is the main Jupiter swapping site. You've probably used this before if you've traded on Solana. If you haven't, this is the #1 spot to go to swap any coin on Solana. You can see right here, you can sell whatever coin you want. I have some Jito Sol right here, which is basically just liquid staked Sol. We're going to swap that into JUP Sol, which is Jupiter's version of staked Sol. And both of these earn about 8% APY as of right now, but it's very easy. I have 16 Jito Sol. We're going to click max to go the whole lot. We're going to swap that all into JUP Sol. Boom, right here. You can actually see what the route is right down here, but we'll go ahead and confirm this real quick, and I'll show you guys how quickly it's done. I clicked process. It's done in under 3 seconds. And we click right here. We can see actually what the route is. This is what's actually happening behind the scenes. We're having all of these different swaps happening right here, but it's very seamless. You could saw it happen in 3 seconds. And the fees on these, if we go over and show price info, you can see the impact price fee that we paid is 0.19%. So we paid a very, very small amount. The transaction fee was 0.004 Sol, which is literally cents and maybe even $1 at very max value, but that's literal cents right now. So this is very cheap to do. You can do these swaps back and forth all day long if you want to and rack up that volume. But if you are going to trade something, let's say you wanted to trade meme coins, right? You wanted to trade Bonk and you wanted to swap it into something, another crazy meme coin like WIF, right? We'll show you guys that you can actually do this right here. I actually have 1 million Bonk in this, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. We'll just do 10,000 Bonk, which is 20 cents. Let's do more than that. Let's do 150,000 Bonk right there into WIF. So we're going to trade $2 into WIF. Swap, you're going to see right here, it's going to ask you to confirm again. And just like that, we can swap these much smaller meme coins that are on Solana from one into the other one. And we can swap it back, right? We just click this button right here and it's going to swap it right back. So that's how you get the DEX volume. You can do basic swaps like this. You can do limit orders, which is really nice. Most DEXs do not have this ability. On Uniswap, I've tried to do limit orders. They do not work very well. Limit orders are simply, let's say I wanted to buy WIF, right? We'll go back here. We're going to say we're going to sell some USDC. I don't know if I have any in here. I don't. So it's a little bit harder to do this when you have 2 coins that change in price. But let's just say we're doing Sol and we're selling in or buying WIF with our Sol, right? So we'll do 0.1 Sol. And then this is the current exchange rate of SOL to WIF. It's a little bit more confusing because it's not dollars, right? It's not the dollar amount. So let's just say we drop this down to 0 right here. That's going to be a 10% drop down. So if WIF becomes 10% less valuable than SOL where it's at right now, right, the ratio, then we'll execute this trade. We can click place limit order and you can sign the transaction and it will go ahead and pop up over here. I'm not going to actually do this one because I don't really want to, but that's what you can do for limit orders right now. So if you had a huge flash crash for some reason and you wanted to pick up some meme coins that got decimated, it's an easy way to do that without having to go and actually manually swap when that happens. You can also do dollar cost average, which is basically saying I want to allocate X amount of SOL. So we'll say we want to do 0.3 SOL to buy WIF. You can do every 1 minute, every day, every hour, over how many orders you want to do. And there you go. It's going to break down everything based on your criteria. It's going to break down those dollar cost average and automatically do those for you from whatever criteria you set. So this is a really, really good site. I've used it, again, literally the whole year, and it's fantastic. It works super well, and it's on Solana, so it's cheap and it's quick. And then they also have perps if you want to trade perps. I've done this a couple times. I would not recommend doing this. I don't think it's necessary because I do think the overall volume is what matters, not how you actually do the volume, whether that's swaps, limits, DCAs, perps, trading meme coins. I don't think it matters. But what we do want to do is get as much volume as we can on the DEX because the volume is going to be the biggest criteria for the airdrop. So how do we track that volume? Well, I actually had made a spreadsheet tracker, but now there is a platform right here. I'll leave a link down below, the Jupiter Volume Checker. All you have to do is make a free account with your email, and then you can go and plop in your address, click run params, and you're gonna actually see how much volume you've done for the year. So on this wallet that I'm looking at right now, I've done $24,000 in volume, and it actually has a lot of cool graphs showing you how you did those transactions, if it was DCAs, if it was limit orders, if it was just general swaps, how many swaps you've done or your total transactions. And you can see in 2024, which is what we care about for this upcoming airdrop that's going to happen in January of 2025, most likely, we want to get to that $100,000 mark, right? The $100,000 volume on DEX will put us in tier 2 roughly. But I do think putting in $100,000 of volume in 2024 is going to get you into the next tier of whatever that is. So we're going to aim for that 100,000 mark here. We are only a fourth of the way there. And obviously we are about 3/4 of the way through the year. So we got to get cooking on this one. You can go and do a bunch of swaps in a day, but I don't think that's a good move if you're just trying to rinse the volume. I think it's better to actually try to do a little bit of strategic trading, strategic limit orders, dollar cost averaging, things you would normally do to grow your account and not just pumping for the volume, farming for the volume. I don't think that's necessarily the best way to go about it, but obviously you can do whatever you want to get that volume. Now, the next criteria here is NFTs from Jup calls. These are the Jupiter planetary calls. And all you have to do for this is go over to the YouTube channel for Jupiter, and you can see they actually just streamed one of these 4 hours ago, and watch these Jupiter planetary calls. This is the 25th one that they've had so far, and they're actually almost every single Wednesday. These are usually at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and at the very end of them, which are usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, you can see you can have this not so surprise POAP. This is a proof of active participation NFT. You can see there's a screenshot. There's a QR code on screen, and what you'll see right here in the chat is you can click on this little link right here that's going to bring you over to the form to get the free POAP. Now, they only allow this for 15 minutes at the end of the stream. This is so that people that come to watch the stream actually have to participate and listen to the stream and, be active in the community to get this POAP. So if you want to just try to claim this thing after the fact without actually participating, you can't. They close at 15 minutes after this is over, and you also must have at least 50 Jupiter staked on the voting platform, which is actually the next criteria we'll get to in just a second. But you need to submit your Solana wallet, you need to connect your Discord or your Twitter account to prove you're not a bot, and then you'll get these POAPs. I've actually gotten a handful of these so far, and it's really as simple as joining into the call, getting the POAP sent to your wallet, and that's it, y'all. That's all you have to do. But if you don't go to the call and you don't go and actually listen or be there for the following 15 minutes of the end of the stream, you won't be able to get these NFTs. So I would say that trying to getting as many of these POAP NFTs as you can is a good idea. I'm not sure if they'll be multipliers or if they'll be just bonus allocation for the airdrop, but I do think this active participation will give you more airdrop allocation. And then the next thing and the last thing is these votes right up here. 7 votes, 3 votes, 1 vote. I don't know how many votes is actually going to matter, but this is an important part of the total airdrop situation. You can see right here, there are 568,000 unique addresses on Jupiter with a total of 350 million JUP staked. Now, not only are you going to get active staking rewards for having your Jupiter staked, they actually just did the first one last month, and I was able to get a handful of different coins from actively staking my Jupiter. But not only that, you're going to need to do this for those POAPs, and I do highly believe that voting on these proposals and having at least 100 JUP staked, if you can, will be another multiplier or a criteria that will add to your airdrop allocation. So what you want to do here is when there's new proposals, you can see on this account I've only done 1 vote so far. There's been quite a few of these proposals so far, and I've only done 1 of them. So I want to do more of these as they come out. The next vote is actually happening in a few days from making this video. So definitely hop on and vote for that if it's live once this video is something that you're watching. And you either vote for or against it, or you'd abstain, which means you don't want to vote, you don't care. You're going to place your vote so that you said you were there, but you're not voting for or against the proposal. So that's all you need to do for these. But in order to vote, you do need to have 100 JUP staked, or maybe it's 50 JUP staked, I'm not sure. But 100 JUP right now is roughly $100, so it's not a ton. You don't need to have a huge bag of Jupiter, the Jupiter token, which is actually what we're trying to farm the airdrop for. You don't need to have a bunch of it on here, but I will note that there is 30 days to unstake this, so be aware that you will have it locked up for some time, but it's important to do this for the airdrop because I do think this is going to be a big part of how Jupiter determines who's an active participant and who should get more Jupiter tokens in the airdrop. So I do think that those 3 buckets, voting on proposals, having the POAPs from the streams, and then doing volume, try to do different things, try to do CA, try out all the different tools they have. I mean, I really think these tools are phenomenal. I've used all of them a couple times at least, and they work super well. Jupiter is probably one of my favorite platforms. It's easily my favorite DEX, and I think the team behind it is phenomenal. They have their stuff together really, really quite well, so I'm really hopeful and excited about this next Juptuary, the second airdrop for Jupiter. The second airdrop is AI Wayfinder, and this is going to be for the prompt token. I will explain to you guys in a brief version of this video I previously just made. You can click on the link right up here if you want to watch the full video on AI Wayfinder, but here is the second airdrop for the prompt token. This is AI Wayfinder. You can think of it as a ChatGPT bot for cryptocurrency purposes. In other words, if you go over and type into the bot what you want to do, and it can be super complex transactions like swapping or bridging or sending tokens to multiple different wallets at once, the chat bot, AI Wayfinder, will do all of these transactions for you in a matter of seconds, as opposed to what would take you potentially up to a half an hour and a lot of stress to do the same task. So if you think that's cool, keep watching because I'm going to show you guys how to get part of the prompt token, which is the token that will fuel the entire ecosystem behind this project. It's also got ties to the Parallel ecosystem, which is a game that came out with their own token called Prime Token. And it just so happens that by cashing that Prime Token is the way you will get this prompt token for AI Wayfinder once that launches. Step number 1 is going to be come over and buy some Prime. If you don't already have Prime, you need to go and buy some. And you don't have to buy a lot. If you are someone who's just speculating or just trying out, this project and wants to participate in this airdrop, you could spend as little as 50 bucks and get almost 10 Prime right now. This is actually a huge discount to where it was because it was almost $30. But that also provides a major opportunity to buy into this airdrop at a very low price compared to what I paid. I paid about $21 for my Prime when I bought those a couple months ago and staked them on Wayfinder. So to buy Prime, you can go over to whichever exchange you want. I'd recommend using Coinbase because you can actually use my link down below to get up to $200 worth of free crypto by using Coinbase and using my referral link down below. But you could also go over to a DEX like Uniswap or any of the other exchanges you see here to buy some Prime tokens. Step number 2 is to go to ai.matscrypto.com, which will bring you over to this page right here where you can go ahead and cash your Prime tokens. And again, caching is just another way to say staking, but in this case, what you will do is decide how many days you want to cache your tokens for. And when you cache them, they will be locked for that many days. So as you can see right here, I have a handful of different buckets or different caches that I've gone and spread out over a different amount of time. So for this one right here, this 200 Prime that I cached on June 17th has 325 days left until it unlocks. I did a full 1 year, 365 days on that cache or on that staking amount. And that's because the longer you stake, the bigger the multiplier you're gonna get. And that multiplier will help you earn more points. As you can see right here on the overview page, you're gonna earn more Prime score. And these scores, as we know from many other airdrops, are gonna be what determines how many prompt tokens you get when the token generation event happens. So now that we know how to buy them and where to cache them, we're gonna go over and actually show you guys how to cache some tokens. You can see I have 122 Prime that I haven't touched yet. It's just sitting in my wallet. And you can see I have about 500 Prime that I've already cached. So we're gonna click on Cache Prime. So as I've said, you can cache whatever you want, but it will be locked up in the smart contract for however long you choose. Now, one other thing I should mention is you can, at any time before the end of the caching, you can extend your cache. So for this one right here that ends at 141 days, let's say a week before it ends, I decided, you know what, I wanna actually keep it in there a bit longer. We can click Extend Cache right here, and we can actually extend the amount of time we wanna keep it in there to continue to earn a higher multiplier on that stake instead of having it withdraw and then not earn any more points. The beauty of that is that you could go and stake or cache things for 30 days and then keep extending it over time if you decide after 30 days, you know what, I want to keep it in there a bit longer. The only difficult part about that is you actually have to make sure you're on top of it and go and extend the cache before it expires. So what we'll do is 50 Prime right here, and then we'll click Next Step. And this is where you can see the multiplier and the modifiers and how they come into play. So this bar right here, you can drag and see how long you want to do. And you can see the longer you do, the more multiplier you get. Right now, the max you can do is over 1,000 days, which again, is still over 3 years long, or roughly 3 years long. It's 75x multiplier. But if we go all the way down to the minimum, that's 21 days, and you get a 1.05x multiplier. So for this 50 Prime tokens, we're gonna go into a smaller amount than I have so far. We're gonna go ahead and do 65 days. So you can see right here, that's gonna give us a 4x modifier. And you can actually see that when you get these milestone enhanced, you can actually increase the amount of multiples you get quicker than the standard modifier. And I'll show you guys all about how those work in just a second. But right now we're gonna go and click Preview Prime, and you can see right here it's gonna show you exactly what you're doing. You have 50 Prime, we're gonna cache it or stake it for 65 days, meaning we won't be able to touch it for 65 days, but during those 65 days, up until September 29th of this year. So the next thing is we'll click Cache Prime, and then at that point you'll have a transaction pop up on your screen. Make sure it is from Wayfinder, and then you'll click Confirm to confirm the transaction. Then you'll wait a few seconds for your transaction to confirm, and once it's done, you'll see Prime successfully cached. You cached 50 Prime for 65 days with a 4.1x multiplier. Go over and sign up at ai.matscrypto.com. Cache as many or as little Prime tokens as you want to. And if you do need to buy those Prime tokens, go to coinbase.matscrypto.com to buy Prime right on Coinbase. It's the best centralized exchange in the world. It's the most trusted, especially if you're US folks like me. It's by far the easiest, and they do have Prime listed on there. And if you do use the link coinbase.matscrypto.com down below, you can get up to $200 worth of free crypto just when you go and sign up and fund your account. Okay, so real quick before the next airdrop, I want to let you guys know about a platform that's making finding airdrops and tracking them way easier. Because if you guys know airdrops like I do, there's 1.5 million of them. They are constantly having new eligibility criteria and deadlines and things you got to keep up with, and it's kind of hard. It gets very messy. So staying organized and knowing which ones to focus your time on is really important. And that's where DappRadar's airdrop system comes in. This is the airdrop dashboard on DappRadar. I'm sure you guys have seen DappRadar before because, well, they've been around for a while, and they do have a fantastic site that has a lot of great tools to help you with your Web3 and your cryptocurrency experience. But they've just added this airdrop section, which actually has a solid amount of different airdrops. And I really like how they've laid it out here. You can see all the airdrops and their names right here, the estimated dates, the likelihood that it'll happen, because we know most of these airdrops don't actually confirm that they're going to have an airdrop. They're more likely hinting that they're going to have an airdrop. So you can see this one is confirmed right here, but all these other ones are either a high or medium ranking. And even Ronin right down here is a low likelihood, but they still have it on here just because some of these, like one of the airdrops we're going to get to at the end of this video, I'll just spoil it now, Coinbase's base airdrop, even though it's not super likely to happen, if it did, you want to be prepared and be farming that right now because it will be huge. So for example, right here, Orbiter is a high likelihood of happening and it takes low difficulty. So this one's one you might want to target because you'd be like, okay, it's easy to do and it's going to happen most likely. So let's go and do the quest for that airdrop to make sure we've checked that off of our list. So if we click on it right here, you can see all of the breakdown for this airdrop. It shows you the user statistics, the transactions, the volume, and then right here, it shows you all the actions you need to do step by step to participate and get the most out of the airdrop. So if we were to click on the first one here, engage with Orbiter, it's going to bring this up and show you guys you need to go to Orbiter and swap with coins like Bitcoin, ETH, USDC from one chain to another. If you've never used Orbiter, it's simply a bridging site. It doesn't actually work as a technical bridge. It just gives you the coins you want for the other chain in exchange for whatever coins you're giving on the chain you're using. But it is actually really great, and they do have an airdrop coming out. So as you can see right here, there is a multi-step bridging on a weekly basis, keeping you on track, and this will actually highlight all the things you've done to keep you organized on how you're doing on each of these airdrops. So this is a really great tool. I like what they have going here. I actually think you can get more airdrops. This is only a portion of the airdrops they offer. But if you actually have a pro membership on DappRadar, you're going to get access to all of the airdrops that they have on this list. This is one way to keep track of it. And it's as easy as having a free account on DappRadar, which I would already expect you might have because DappRadar, again, has all these other great tools you can use. So check it out in the link down below if you guys want to. The third airdrop on this list is Scroll. And for this one, it's very simple. You're going to bridge funds from your Ethereum mainnet account over to the Scroll layer 2. You can do absolutely nothing else other than leave them on Scroll, and you will earn Scroll sessions over time that will actually accumulate for Scroll tokens during the airdrop. But I'm going to explain it a little further in the video I already made, so let's check out Scroll real quick. Step one is to go over to scroll.io and then go to bridge. And then under the bridge section here, you're going to need to bridge from Ethereum mainnet to Scroll L2. Under the bridge, you'll put in however much Ethereum you want to bridge over to Scroll, and I would suggest doing whatever's comfortable for you. I personally have put in, as you can see right here, 0.147 ETH about a month ago, and as soon as you bridge over, you're gonna immediately start earning marks, which under the sessions tab here, you can see marks are essentially just the points you're going to earn towards the airdrop. They're being creative and calling them marks because the blockchain is called Scroll, so marks on the Scroll makes a lot of sense. It's cheeky, whatever. The point is, however many marks you have are going to equate to how much airdrop allocation you get for Scroll when that happens. You can see right here, marks are updated every 24 hours. And if you click on more about sessions, you can go and see their entire write-up on sessions, which is really quite simple. It's basically go to the site, bridge, and you're going to start earning points, whether that's ETH, whether that's Stone, which is another ETH equivalent type token, or you can see you can also do USDC, USDT, or having assets on tranches is another way to do it. But the simplest way is to just put your ETH in there and let it earn. And very similar to Blast, you don't have to do anything else at the moment. If you want to do more transactions, stay tuned. I'll show you guys how to farm this a little bit harder towards the end of the video. But the very simple way to do this is to just literally bridge and then just wait. Just let your marks accumulate over time. Know that that ETH is going to be on Scroll for the time being. And then once this airdrop ends, again, similar to Blast, you can just go over to the bridge and you can withdraw to Ethereum by bridging from Scroll back to Ethereum. The fourth airdrop on my list is Blast Phase 2. You've probably heard me talk about Blast a million times because I farmed the living heck out of Blast during Phase 1. But we're now on to Phase 2, and I gotta say, Blast has fallen off a little bit. Most people do not care about it, and for that reason, I'm back again to farm it even harder because I think if people don't care, there's a lot less saturation. I'm still a believer in Blast. I think this is going to have a nice turnaround, and over the course of the next year, which is how long Blast Phase 2 is, I think we can get a lot of value out of this, especially if the bull run is in the peak form at the end of that year, which should be sometime next year around summer. So I think the timing on this could be really good. You can see right here, I actually have 1.2 million Blast in this account right now, and Blast Phase 2 is very similar to Blast Phase 1. If you don't know about how that worked, I made a million videos on it, but the overview is you will earn points for having Ethereum or having USDC, which is actually USDB on Blast, or having 2x points for holding the Blast token on your wallet on Blast Phase 2. You can see you're going to constantly earn points, and then points and gold, which gold can only be earned through using different dApps, is going to be the way that you get airdrop allocation. If you guys want to learn how to farm this one really deeply, I have a bunch of other videos on my channel. I'll leave a link right up here to the playlist that has all the blast farming guides. Okay, the fifth and final airdrop I'm farming, as I alluded to earlier in the video, is Base. There is no confirmation on a Base airdrop. In fact, I would say it's probably less likely that Base will actually come out with a token, which is, Coinbase, at this point, because it just doesn't seem likely to happen given the history of the airdrops and the fact that, well, Coinbase might not need to have its own token because it would be a lot easier for regulation purposes. But in the low percentage chance, maybe 15 to 20% chance that Base does have a token airdrop at some point, I want to be absolutely ready, and that means farming on Base. So let me show you guys real quick how to use Farm Base if you guys want to. You can use it for free with a free wallet, or you can use the paid version, which gives you a couple benefits. So let's show you how that works. If you go over to farm.matscrypto.com, it's going to bring you over here to Farm Base, which, as they say, is the simplest way to farm the biggest airdrops of the year. Base, Solana, Linea, and Scroll. This is basically an automated farming system. If you go over to the dashboard here, you can see I currently have 6 different wallets set up. 5 of these wallets are premium wallets, which cost about $25 per month. But you can see right here, if we go into one of the wallets, I'm actually farming Scroll, and I have been for about 99 days. You can see I've done 29 transactions, $6,600 in volume, and the beauty of this is I haven't done anything. All I've done is put 0.15 ETH into my Scroll wallet on Farmbase, and then every single 5 days or so, they automatically go and farm on different protocols on Scroll's blockchain. So if you scroll down here to farming history, you can see June 3rd, we did a swap on Kyber Swap, we did a swap on SyncSwap, we did a swap on XY Finance and SyncSwap. You can see all the dates, all the different transactions we did, Kyber Swap, Layer Bank, COG. It's doing all different kinds of withdrawals, deposits, swaps, and interactions on the Scroll network. And it's just using the money that I put into this wallet and automatically farming it. So I haven't had to do any of the work on here. So what's the point of doing all this? Well, if Scroll rewards users or wallets that have a certain amount of volume on Scroll, or have transacted a certain amount of times or certain amount of months in a row, that will be additional multipliers potentially, or extra points towards the airdrop allocation for Scroll users. And so we're farming that right now by just having this automatically do transactions for us. And again, this is as easy as it gets. If you want to take a step further than just putting your ETH on Scroll and letting it sit, you could have ETH on Scroll and also have it doing transactions for you across multiple wallets, and it's all automated. This is all, again, on Farmbase. I've used them as well for Base. So you can see right here, I have some money on my Base wallet and some money on my Scroll wallet. If we toggle over here from Scroll to Base, we can see I've done $7,100 on Base in the same wallet. I have a lot less money in here, 0.05 ETH less. So I'm really not working with a ton of money in each wallet, but I do think that these transactions over time, right? We have 55 transactions on Base, and we have $7,100 in volume, and then Scroll, we have 6,600, 29 transactions. These are going to add up to more airdrop allocation. No idea what the number will be at the end, but this is the easiest way to do this because it's totally hands off. If this looks interesting to you, you can click the link down below, or again, go to farm.matscrypto.com. You can also set up freemium wallets. So there are a free version of these wallets you can try if you just want to see how the process works and not spend any money on a membership. You can go over here and set up a free wallet. You can see these are going to do it every 10 days. That's one of the benefits of being a premium member, is it does every 5 days, so you get a lot more volume in. We can see we have about half the volume on the free wallet. And the other downside to having a free wallet is when this airdrop happens, you're only going to get 75% of whatever the airdrop allocation is to this wallet. So the other 25% of whatever you get will go to Farmbase. So that's the benefit of having a premium wallet, is you get 100% of whatever airdrop you get. But for having a free wallet, there's obviously no membership fee, no risk in terms of spending money each month, $25 a month, but you will only get 75% of whatever the airdrop is that your wallet gets. But it does the same thing. You do, transactions every once in a while. This is on Base. I haven't done any free wallets for Scroll. You can see this wallet has no volume for Scroll, but for Base, I have done a free wallet just to show you that it does pretty much the same thing. It's just about half as frequent right? It does every 10 days as opposed to every 5 days. You can't change the frequency on the free wallets, but you can change the frequency on the premium wallets. So either way, to create a wallet, you're gonna click create wallet over here, and you can see again, 75% of the airdrop for free, 100% of the airdrop for premium, and it's $25 a month for the premium wallet. So you click whichever one you want. You can click free, you can click premium, you can do both. I have, again, 5 premium wallets and 1 free because I do think the premium is gonna pay for itself in airdrop. If these airdrops happen like I think they will, I think the $25 a month is gonna be way less than the airdrop amount we get for doing that farming. That's my personal belief. Do whatever you want. I would suggest going free to start just to see how it works, and if you like it enough, you could try a premium one. But there you go. I clicked free wallet, create a new one, and it's that easy. You're gonna go over here and click view, and then your new wallet's gonna be right here. What you need to do is you need to deposit ETH to this address. Now, this is not your address, this is my address. Make sure you deposit to whatever one shows up on your screen, but only send Scroll or Ethereum. Then you can go over here and bridge it from Ethereum to Scroll, or you can go over to Scroll and use the Scroll official bridge. Either way, it works fine. But if you're gonna use the wallet here and not export your wallet and actually just let it do its thing on Farmbase dashboard, I would recommend bridging the funds right here so it all stays within the actual dashboard. You go over to a centralized exchange and deposit at least 0.1 ETH over here, and then you turn on your wallet, and within 72 hours, it will start farming for you. So it's really that easy. You set it up and then it's done. It goes, and this is the more advanced way to farm this airdrop because I do think there's gonna be benefits to having done transactions, having volume on Scroll as opposed to just having money on Scroll blockchain. But this also takes away all of the work you have to put into actually doing those transactions over time consistently. And it doesn't cost a lot on Scroll. So you can see that even though I put in 0.15 ETH total, even after all these transactions, all these swaps it's done, and all the fees I've accumulated, we still have a decent amount of that ETH left. So it will spend some money on fees, but because it's a layer 2, it's gonna be a lot less money than you normally spend on the Ethereum mainnet. There you have it. Those are the 5 airdrops I'm farming right now. I think all these have pretty sizable potential. If you guys want any more info about it, leave a comment down below and let me know. I'll answer all the questions. And I've left all the links to all these down below in the description. Leave a like, subscribe, and go and check out this video if you haven't already because you just don't want to miss it.